And thank you very much as well, Megan. And we're going to have a break in just a few minutes, but just to frame the rest of the workshop and what you can expect as we move ahead. We're very excited again to have you all here. Thank you. And for those of you who are following us on the web, thank you all very much for joining us as well. So if you think about communications sort of generally, I think you need to know what it is you're trying to accomplish. And you heard that from all of the speakers this morning very clearly. And we need to align our communications goals with our communications approaches with our goals. In other words, what are those desired outcomes? And that entails sort of why are you communicating? It entails the what are you trying to communicate, as well as who are you trying to reach. And as we move ahead in the whole course of this workshop, we're going to be taking a look at the broader goals and the what, the why, and the who. We decided it was given the complexity, which you've already heard about, the multifactorial, the diversity, the equity issues, all of the above, when we were, as a planning committee, we're thinking about, okay, we have to focus. We have to really focus on something that's very specific, much more concrete and tangible in order to make communications impactful. And what we chose as our focus was obesity solutions. This is the purpose of the Roundtable on Obesity Solutions, and in keeping with its mission, but maybe more important is it may identify and help with those opportunities of the future, to move away from the challenges and say, okay, what can we really do together to make a difference? We thought very clearly and very concisely about who are our audiences for this. Again, could be very, very diverse. We thought about three audiences that would really be central. One, the publics, in a broad sense, more than just public. One, decision maker, and the decision makers can be very broad as well. They can be teachers, they can be parents, they can be community leaders, they can be health professionals, and many, many more. And then finally, policymakers, knowing that the environment and the systems are very critical in which individuals and which groups are acting and making decisions. So in session one, you had a great beginning here, taking a look at what is communications and the communications environment specifically as it relates to obesity. Keeping in mind, again, the focus being obesity solutions. If we move into session two, we're looking at, with a, sort of the backdrop as a socio-ecological model, what is the complexity again, and where do we start? With those various audiences, the publics, the decision makers, and basically the policy makers. And then in terms of session 3 and 4 both, we're going to move into sort of how do we move ahead? What are the nuts and the bolts for moving ahead? What are the how? So we're going to be looking at best practices, model successes, lessons, gaps, metrics. We heard evaluation set up as critical in the first session today. We're going to be looking at unique challenges for the different audiences, and again, refining objectives and talking all the time about what are those messages that are going to really cut through the clutter. And I want to, at this point, thank the Planning Committee. They have done a terrific job. I will tell you, there have been countless emails, countless calls, and countless hours spent in pulling this together. You will meet each one of the Planning Committee members as we go through the day. And we're going to break for a 15-minute exercise break or other activity if you're on the web. We're going to be coming back at 10:30. But before we do, I want to say that one of these sort of unsung groups here at the National Academies is the wonderful staff. And they make all this possible. They make the work of the Planning Committee seem seamless, and the way the workshops play out seamless as well. So I want to thank specifically Leslie Sim, Meredith Young, and Cypress Links for this work on the workshop. So we'll see you at 10:30 with more great things to come.